Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over some technical analysis on several stocks that we currently hold in the portfolio. It's going to be a little bit different than normal. We're going to actually look at the daily charts, and it's going to be a longer term time frame, as you notice up here, from January 1st, 2022 to basically yesterday, June 24th, 2024. And we're going to go over some thoughts and plans for the stocks based on the technical analysis, and just giving everyone a heads up on what these things look like they could potentially be doing. As a bonus, we'll take a look at the crypto markets. We'll look at Bitcoin, we'll look at Shiba Inu, and talk about the same thing, what's going on with them, what's the plans, and everything of that nature. Before we get into it, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content, hit the notification bell, that way YouTube can let you know when we release new content, and share it with someone who you think could benefit from the video. So let's start off with Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. The overall low of 81.43, overall tip top of 191.70. As you see, ever since we got to 81.43 post split, we've been on a pretty straight path to close to 200. We've been rejected several times, and as you see here, once, twice, almost three times, and then now four. And in my opinion, I think that we can probably stay back and forth in this channel until somewhere around August, which is going to be the earnings reports. You got about another month, in my opinion, of where we're either going to bounce above 191.70 and we go and we test out $200, or we just keep bouncing our head, falling down, and we'll just kind of keep trading this channel until we see what the earnings looks like. And if the earnings are good, then we'll blast straight through that and continue higher from there. So that's kind of my basic opinion on that. Is I think the earnings report, once they come out with it, typically is positive, and you should probably expect something good from there. But overall, 191.70 is your tip top. If we get above that, or even above 200, really kind of throwing it out there, then things can get really interesting. If we do fall down, 165.68 longer term is your support. So even if we break below 180, 170, you still think about 165 as your overall floor for the longer term time frame. Next up, IQST, ticker symbol IQST. Since this is about to update, this 103 is going to go away soon, so I went ahead and changed it up to the tip top of about 75 cents. This makes for an interesting pattern, in my opinion, although we are looking at a very crucial level that we fell below 22 cents, and then we kind of were somewhat trying to find some support. If we can hold here, I think things get somewhat interesting because of the pattern that we're looking at. So from here down to here, there's your cup, there's a handle. Could we potentially see some type of news event or revenue hit that projects this thing and starts making a run back to retest some of the highs? My overall price target on this longer term has been $1 overall. That's what I want to shoot for, and if it gets anywhere close to that, I'd consider taking my profits. But this one here is undervalued on the longer term, the daily chart, and so we should see some type of buying pressure to come back up and maybe retest that 34-cent mark at some point over the next couple of weeks, in my opinion. So keep an eye on IQST. Next up is Nvdia, ticker symbol NVDA. As you know, this one had a nice run up, and we talked about how it should have a pullback, and here it is happening now. I did get my first couple of shares of Nvdia yesterday, and I'm holding out to see what happens if it falls lower and tests that 110 mark as support, and see how it goes from there. If it breaks below 110, then the shorter term time frame, you're looking at about 102, but the longer term is usually, it's looking like about 91. One thing to keep in mind, though, we do have your earnings on the 21st over the next couple of months. That's coming up, but also we have the annual shareholder meeting that's coming up tomorrow and Wednesday, and you don't know what they're going to announce on there to possibly propel the stock higher. So I can see this thing falling down harder and trying to settle at about 110 really today, because as aggressive as it can go up, it can go just as aggressive on the way down, and it's actually a lot more healthy to see it pull back and settle as opposed to just going straight up. You're more inclined to continue to move higher at that point if it's able to do that. So overall, looking pretty good in my opinion. So we see about the 110, 100 mark. Let's see where it goes from there, if it holds or breaks below that. Tesla. So this one here seems to be finding some support at 166.19 overall longer term. If we get above 200, specifically about 216 or 220, I think things can get pretty interesting. You're looking at their next earnings call to be, if I can get it to update. I'm not sure why it's not updating, but we'll check it out and see. But if we can get above 220 and hold, I think then things get super interesting here. The charts just look, it's so crazy, so choppy and really inconsistent. Your overall top right now, 402. That's obviously going to change soon, but not that much, maybe at 385. And then from there, you're looking at about 314. I think that we could, in the shorter term, like sometime over the summer, start moving and come back and retest somewhere like around the 250 mark, which would be nice to see some momentum gaining there. So 166, a key level of support. If we fall below that, longer term, you're looking at potentially coming down and testing like 139, 100, but we'll see how it goes from there. Okay. Next up, Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG. And this thing right here, I'll give you kind of a hypothetical situation of what could potentially happen. But this here is setting up for some type of, in my opinion, some type of potential move to the upside. But it has to happen, in my opinion, sometime somewhat soon. As you see here, 42 cents, your overall tip top. We fell down all the way to 4.5 cents. And we've been trading in this channel for quite some time. Okay, this is from 2023, basically in December, all the way to now. We've popped our heads up higher than what you see here. From 4 cents to 15 cents and 14 cents and 10 cents and whatever. So a spike in price, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. It's going to happen at some point soon. But I do think we retest 4.5 cents before that happens. Okay, we're down in the 5 cents again. I think we do come down to 4.5 cents. And from there, we spike up to 10, maybe 12.5 cents. What would get really interesting is if we start moving up and we don't come back down. And we keep trickling our way up and we retest that 42 cent mark, anywhere around that mark. Because if we did, then you would have an extremely large cup forming, and then your handle would probably come down to retest about the 30 cent mark or so, and then off of some news could really start moving to the upside if that cup and handle pattern indeed does hold its shape. Okay, so right now 4.5 cents your overall floor, 12.5 cents is your first level of resistance, and at about 18, almost 19 cents, then about 24 cents, 28 cents, 33, and then all the way to 42. But in my opinion, keep an eye on 4.5. I think that's the first step. I think we're going to go down to 4.5 first, and then from there we're going to bounce. As you see here, we just crossed over from bullish to bearish on the longer term for the MACD indicator, and notice how the golden cross indicator is crossing down when the blue line comes down and falls below that pink line. Typically we see some more move to the downside, so you can probably expect to go down to about 4.5, and then we bounce from there, and then we'll just see what happens from there. Okay, let's take a look at the crypto market and Shiba Inu and talk about that. All right, guys, so we're gonna look at Bitcoin to start. All right, and this is the overall full chart of Bitcoin. This is like a very narrow cup, and we are getting pulled back. We seem to be kind of holding around 60,000, and then obviously for the day we're down. The 7-day doesn't look that great, but you got to keep in mind of You know, if it's going to go to 100,000, like people are saying, 150,000, it's not going to go straight up. Okay, you're going to have some corrections, you're going to have some pullbacks, and in the scheme of things, you know, for the 1 year, it's still up 98%. Okay, it's up 98% for the 1 year. So you can't really sit there and say it's really crashing. Is it really crashing, or is it correcting? Okay, and one thing, people could be transferring money out to look to get into Ethereum, because they're talking about the Ethereum ETFs coming soon. So transfers may be happening there. People may just be taking profits because they think, oh, nothing's going to happen. It hasn't moved, or, you know, I don't know. It could be a lot of different things of what's happening with the crypto market, specifically Bitcoin. So we'll look at Shiba Inu, and Shiba Inu is basically, guys, if you follow Bitcoin, you can pretty much follow what's going to happen with Shiba Inu. Okay, as you see, the 1 day we're up 3%, making a little recovery all the way down from the 16s, and we popped all the way back up to roughly 17 and some change. This is an interesting assessment here someone posted of they're thinking that it can potentially fall down and come all the way down to this level, the 1336 level, which would be interesting. But you got to think longer term, though. If it does fall there, as long as it holds, as you see, it's coming back up if that chart is accurate on that assessment. But even on the year-to-date, guys, you got to keep in mind we're still up 115% on Shiba Inu, although we crashed and broke trend. You know, we had broke the downtrend to come up, and then we broke it again, the uptrend to come down. So if you think, you know, it's going to be going up within the next year, which is what most people are talking about over the next, they're not just talking about the next couple of days or a couple of weeks, but the next year to year and a half, the crypto market is projected to move higher. So you got to look at this, in my opinion, as a buying opportunity and a discount for Shiba Inu or whatever other type of coins, as long as they're something that you think could have potential to move up. You know, I think that it's a buying opportunity. I've been buying SHIB the past week. I've been coming in and accumulating as it falls. I just come buy more, and I'll continue to do that, you know, until we start seeing that the downtrend is broken and we're moving back up to the upside. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. Let me know your comments below. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.